Hello everyone. Today I'm tying the Wiggle Hex Nymph, similar to the Wiggle Hex Emerger that I published earlier. On this fly I'm using Raffia for the wing case on the thorax part of the fly. For the abdomen I'm using Daiichi 1270 size 6 curved hook. The underbody is the lead wire 0.010 diameter. The thread for this part of the fly is the UNI-Thread 17-aught Trico. Start the thread just behind the eye and trim the tag. Secure the lead wire along the hook parallel to each other with smooth wraps to the barb and trim the excess lead wire. Build up the thread and add thin head cement. Next, I'm adding the Rainey's white foam parachute posts to build up the body. Secure the foam posts along the edge of the lead wire on the right side first and trim the excess. Repeat the same step on the left side, trim the excess, build up the thread along the body, and taper both ends. Next, I'm adding the tail, 3 strands of dyed yellow Peacock Herl. Tie in the middle tail first along the threaded area with smooth wraps. The tail is about half the length of the threaded area. Take the 1/8 inch brown Scud back. Trim the end into a point to make it easier to tie in. Tie in the brown Scud back by the point at the start and secure it with smooth wraps to the base of the tail, stretching it as you're securing it. Secure the fine brown dubbing around the thread. Wrap the dubbing into a ball in front of the first tail segment. Fold over the latex Scud back over the ball of dubbing and secure along the length of the hook. Then fold it back and secure. Tie in the other 2 strands for the tails left and right along the edge of the body and have the tails even with the middle tail. Build up the thread and trim the excess. Add the small oval copper tinsel along the threaded area with smooth wraps and bring the thread back to the start. Tie in the olive silk floss along the threaded area with smooth wraps and have the thread at the base of the tail. Prepare a partridge subfeather, remove the excess fibers down to the stem, and secure by the stem at the base of the tail and build up the thread with smooth wraps to the eye. Burnish the threaded area and wrap the silk floss with smooth overlapped wraps to the eye. Secure and trim the tag. Fold over the partridge subfeather over the body and secure behind the eye. Next, fold over the scud back and secure behind the eye and trim the excess. Wrap the small oval copper tinsel forward evenly spaced and angled. Wrap between the fibers of the subfeather to reinforce it, using a bodkin to separate the fibers right to the eye. Secure, trim the excess, build up the thread, whip finish, trim, and add head cement. Adjust the hook and cut off the bare portion at the base of the tail. For the thorax, the hook I'm using is the Kamasan B-175 size 4. The thread is the Semperfli Nano Silk 18-aught white. Start the thread behind the eye and trim the tag. Wrap a base along the hook even with the barb and bring it back to the start. Take a piece of the monofilament and thread it to the abdomen part of the fly and tie it in along the top of the hook. Secure behind the eye with a few wraps and adjust the loop by pulling the monofilament forward. I want the loop large enough for the abdomen to move freely. Build up the thread with smooth wraps to secure the monofilament. Secure the tag ends of the monofilament on each side of the wrap and trim the ends flush. Flatten the threaded area and add thin head cement. Next, prepare the brown raffia for the wing case. Take a section of the raffia and trim it in half. Fold the outside edge on both sides towards the middle, then fold it in half to reinforce it. Flatten the wing case with your fingers. Secure the wing case on top of the threaded area and trim the excess. Build up the thread with smooth wraps to the end of the monofilament. Split the thread, wax, and add light olive hare's ear dubbing loosely. Add the dubbing twister, double over the thread, and spin to secure the dubbing. Brush out the dubbing and wrap with edge-to-edge wraps along the threaded area to the halfway point and secure by the thread. Fold the wing case over the dubbing and secure it to the end of the threaded area and bring it back to the dubbing. Whip finish and move the thread aside. Next, I'm using the Semperfli Nano Silk 24/0 white. Start the thread and trim the tag. Split the thread, wax, and add the same dubbing and secure it in the same way. Brush out the dubbing and wrap edge-to-edge wraps along the threaded area, secure by the thread. Build up the thread, whip finish, and trim. Next, prepare the natural rabbit strip. Trim a section that will be used for the legs. Take the thread that was set aside and split it evenly. Wax and add the rabbit strip with the hide attached. Adjust the rabbit strip to get the proper length for the legs. Trim the excess. Spread the fur along the thread. Spin the bobbin to secure the fur. Brush out the fur and wrap along the dubbed area evenly spaced. Once you get past the dubbing, wrap the remaining fur as a collar and secure by the thread. Brush out the fur to free any trapped fibers. Fold the wing case over and secure it on the bare part of the hook. Secure the wing case to the halfway point between the end of the dubbing and the hook eye. Fold the wing case back towards the dubbing and secure. Next, Secure the medium black mono eyes on top of the hook up against the folded wing case with figure 8 wraps and add head cement. Split the thread, add the same dubbing, wrap the dubbing behind the eyes and in between towards the hook eye. Secure and trim the excess. Fold over the wing case between the eyes. Secure, whip finish, trim, and add head cement. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, leave a like if you made it to the end of the tutorial, and leave a comment of what else you'd like me to try.